Hello, welcome back to my channel. I have just arrived at there. What do you think? We're actually at the top of the Kirkstone Pass and we can't see a blooming thing. But we came up anyway, so we just thought we're going to make the most of it and see. Hopefully things are going to clear, but they might not. And we'll just take what we get, really. There's a few bits of snow left, but compared to what there was last week, if you saw my video last one in the lakes, that was last week, and there was tons of snow, but it's all gone. So our route will take us up Red Screes. Hopefully it's not going to be banked out with snow, the drifts from last time. But we'll just, as I say, we'll just have to deal with it and maybe even turn back. Depends how bad it is. But I came up here last year and I think it took me about 25 minutes to get up, that's all. But conditions are a bit different at the moment, so it might take a bit longer. Anyway, we'll get on with it. So we've just encountered a few more bits of snow, but nothing major. I haven't brought any winter gear in terms of ice axe, crampons, because I've looked at the forecast and I just don't think it's necessary. It's too warm. I mean, I think it's about 6 degrees at the minute. Expecting 2 degrees tonight up there. But with wind chill, because it's supposed to be pretty windy, like 30-mile-an-hour winds, so we'll just have to see how it is. And this is actually my first outing in my new to meet Durston tent, the X Mid, so I'm looking forward to trying that out and seeing how it is. Bit more snow at this point. Path's clear though, it's just the path there up that way, so it's just to one side. So far so good. So just reached a scrambly bit now, and you can see the main thing is that it's clear of snow. You might just need to use your hands a bit on this, but it looks fine. There's plenty of grip because the rock's quite sharp, so there's plenty of grip. So yeah, we'll just scutter up here. Far off the summit now, more snow banking out there. I'll tell you what, it's windy though. These tents are, I've been the Durston X Mid, having these in the Hillyberg Acto, but I'm going to try and get out the wind as much as I can. But up here it's a very exposed summit and there's not many places to hide, so we'll just I'm expecting it to be windier on the summit, which is just here, but we'll have a look round and try and gauge what it's like when we get there, the wind. So here we are at the wee tarn, and it's pretty much frozen solid, that. I've only brought half a litre of water because I thought I could get water from here, and we can. See there. But yeah, it's pretty solid, that. Ice at that other end is probably 2 or 3 inches thick. But that wind, it's not cold. I mean, as stupid as it sounds, it is not cold, that wind. I've been in -13 recently and it isn't cold. But still no views. Just gonna have a wander round. You probably know I have pitched up here before. I came up here last, I think it was May, for the Aurora, and I pitched further down that way, so I'm going to try and get out the wind as much as possible. So eventually I've got the tent up. What do you reckon? Looks pretty good, yeah? My first outing in the Durston X Mid. I have been out twice before in one of these tents, but not in this one. This is mine. Yeah, so got to get all that stuff in there now and get comfy. I've not measured these wind speeds yet, but I reckon it's sort of 20-ish gusts. But we've tried to pitch just this side, got a bit of shelter from those rocks. That's the theory. Whether we'll actually get shelter, I don't know. Hopefully the winds aren't going to get any worse, but we'll just have to see. So I'm all set up inside the tent now, pretty good that. And what I've done, I've put my rucksack, if you look at the other vestibule there, oh it's windy, I put my rucksack in there just to be a bit of a draft excluder. But I've measured the winds, you've probably seen them measured them constant 20-27 gusts is the most I've measured. And it's a bit sort of noisy, but I think that might be quieter once I shut this door and get it all tight. Because I've got the door open, I think I've lost a bit of tightness on the structure there. But it seems alright. Yeah, wind's coming, as you can probably see, the wind's coming straight at it that way. And that's my setup. As I say, once I get it all shut up, it should tighten the structure down a bit and it should be a bit more solid. Look at the views! Look at the views! Hey. I think it's time to have a brew. I've got all my sort of night gear on now, all my down stuff, and I think I'm fancying a brew to get the kettle on. I was hoping the wind might ease a bit, but it's not. It's constant 30s now. Let's have a look at this Durston X Mid. That's constant 30s, it's 35 gusts, I've measured that coming through. Oh, look at that. I I'll leave my tent for 2 minutes and look what happens. Someone's moved in.
This is warmer, this quilt, than my Rab 700, which is a 3-season -9, and this doesn't go to -9, and this is warmer. I can feel the heat radiating underneath me. And this mat is better than the flex tail.
3-season.
3-season this, but my sleeping bag is meant to be better.
Yeah, I've got the same sleeping bags every year. The Rab, the Tent 900. Double the weight of that. That's why I never use it. Let's have a look at this Actor. Actor's a good tent. I used to have one. I sold it because I couldn't get on with the headroom, the lack of it. It's a good tent. See how it goes. Hopefully these winds are going to drop off later. I looked at one forecast said it was going to drop off, the other forecast said that it was going to go increase. Just crazy weather forecast. I mean, that wind does seem to have dropped a bit now, which is good, because it was, I measured 50 gusts. But I'm just doing a bit of learning about this tent, and see this bit here. Because I've got a guy pegged in there, that won't reach up to there to get it on that clip there. I'm trying to show you with one hand. So I'm just going to, next time I'm going to bring a peg just to hold that there, because it won't reach up. Well, it will reach, but then it comes off. It's a little magnetic thing. So I'm just going to bring a peg for that, because when I let go of that, it's like that all the time. But anyway, I'm just learning about the tent, like you with old tents, that'll be fine. So it's 6:30 now and it's all dark outside, it's still windy, but now I've got the door shut, got that door shut, not fully shut, but it sort of put some tension on the whole structure and it's a lot more solid now. It's still windy though. I think shortly I brought some of that soup again, so I'm going to get my wee pan out and cook up some of that soup. Something to do, innit? On these long winter nights you've plenty of time for doing stuff like that. But I'm nursing I've got a trapped nerve in this shoulder, and I'll tell you what, it's really sore, so I don't know how that's going to be tonight. I've got some ibuprofen. But I'm a side sleeper and I can't lie on my side because the pain in my shoulder is pretty bad. But let's just see how it goes. So it's just gone 8 o'clock now, and it's time for a bit of that. So I've got my cooking pot, I've got my little adapter for my stove. Won't light with that on. So we're away. There it goes, turn it down a bit. Don't want to be too hot with this or else it ends up burning the bottom of the pan. What's up with you? Oh, good morning. It's nearly 8 o'clock now, so it's about half an hour before sunrise. But that was a rough old night, that. mean, I was ready for packing up and going, I'll be honest with you, because it was just so boring. There's nothing you can see, nothing you can do, you're just stuck inside the tent. The winds were 40 miles an hour constant for probably about 4 hours. But I did look at leaving actually, seriously, but visibility was about 2 meters, so it just wasn't safe to do that. But recently it's been raining as well, and there's nothing to see. It's absolutely horrible. I'll tell you what though, this tent, what can I say about this tent? Durston X Mid, solid. It's soaking wet inside, but you've seen the conditions. I mean, you can see out. Can you see? It's horrible. We're in a cloud. We've been in a cloud since we got here. So condensation, it's soaking wet, and actually the inner, my quilt is soaking wet as well. All this is wet. What I think it is, I mean, there's no footprint, so that doesn't help. There's a footprint under the inner tent, but there's no footprint in the vestibule. That doesn't help. So the other vestibule doesn't have a footprint either. Conditions like this, it's going to be so damp. That big vent, I think the damp air has been blowing in through the vent at the top, and it just made all this sides really wet. No, it's all wet. It really is. But I mean, what can you do? I'd say it's quite drafty as well because of this mesh section here. In these conditions, it's quite drafty. This isn't a 4-season tent. It's not supposed to be a 4-season tent. They're saying that. I mean, for me, this isn't 4-season conditions. It's not winter conditions. It's not even that cold. I measured the temperature last night. It was 2.6 degrees on my little box. But I tell you what, despite all that, I'm really impressed with this tent. 40 mile an hour winds, measured 49 gusts, and it's been alright, it really has. So despite all the dampness, which for me is to be expected, it really is, I'm really impressed with it, honestly I am. Yeah, so bit of a tip as usual. I think I'm gonna get a brew on and decide what we're going to do. The forecast is pretty crap. It's pretty much like this. We were hoping we might be above the clouds, but as time goes on I'm just less optimistic about that. But it is what it is, isn't it? Right, back to you in a bit. So here we are, we're out. The time is 8:10. This is what it's like. There's quite a few bits of snow left, as you can see there. The time's just over there, frozen solid. That's us. Yeah, so we're still not optimistic about this cloud dropping. I'll tell you what, it's cold, that. It feels cold. That wind and damp, horrible conditions. Another reason last night why I was keen to get the hell out of here is because my shoulder, I was in a lot of pain with my shoulder, so I took some painkillers, and once they kicked in I just felt a bit better, but I'm really struggling with this shoulder. Well, so much for it starting to brighten up. See the ice forming on the tent now. See that? See that? Everything is soaking wet. My sleeping pad soaking wet. There's ice on that as well, a bit of ice on that. That's soaking wet. My quilt dripping. Some ice there. Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible. Not my idea of fun at all. Some people enjoy this, but it's just wet. Nothing worse. Rucksack's starting to freeze up. Oh, -9 in that wind. Time to get the hell out of here. Leave no trace. Just a bit of frost. Right, let's get out of here. Whoa. So I'm just heading back down now, and it's really slippy. Got to be careful on this. It's not icy, but just so damp. My GoPro's freezing up as well. See the frost on my clothing. But I can honestly say, oh, hang on a minute. Back to you in a minute. Okay, we're back. I can honestly say that's one of the worst, if not probably the worst camp I've ever done. There is just no views, crap weather, soaking wet, just pretty miserable really. Nothing to do except wander around in mist. Okay, so we're nearly back in the car. I think I'm going to sign off here now. And this has been a pretty boring video, I think it was a pretty boring camp, to be honest. Like I said, I would have packed up if conditions had allowed it. Just gone back to the car, because you know, conditions like this are just miserable. You soaking wet, really windy. I mean, I was with everyone here, we couldn't even hear each other because of the noise. Talking to each other across the tent, you know what I mean? Difficult filming, can't show you anything, so it's just dead boring. And it's not that my life was in danger or anything like that. The worst night of my life, all that nonsense. It was just boring. Video might be boring as well, so I can understand if you haven't enjoyed it. Sorry, but that's just how it is sometimes. But nearly back in the car now. Conditions are no different, and maybe off on another camp tonight. I'm not sure. Just gonna have a look at the weather and see if it's worth staying out, and maybe we'll get some better conditions. Anyway, big thanks for watching. Get in the comments. I always love to hear from you guys, and I hope to see you in the next one. See ya.